traffic today, not as bad as maybe people thought it might be, but
Right.
I think people were saying when I left the house, I just wasn't sure this morning.
Yeah, I think people kind of heeded the warnings that they heard. When we saw the flakes flying yesterday, that was the warning that like the winter weather is here.
Yesterday
right?
was crazy,
Yeah,
Lauren, on the roads.
And for a lot of us, maybe like the first time in 2 years driving with that kind of precipitation flying in the air.
Yeah.
This morning's commute definitely slow moving from like 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Drivers were seeing drive times almost doubled maybe what their normal commute is, especially if you're crossing the metro. Luckily, though, we were really light on crashes all across the Twin Cities. Last night, however, was a different story. MnDOT says crews responded to nearly 600 crashes across Minnesota yesterday. The majority of that trouble happened during last night's evening commute and afterward. I want to show you some video of a multi-vehicle crash that happened last night in Burnsville. This is jaw-dropping. It happened around midnight over the 35W bridge on the Minnesota River. An SUV had already spun out, but then two other vehicles lost control and they all collided, spinning across the icy freeway, unable to take control of their vehicles. It took emergency crews about half an hour to clean up this crash site. We saw delays here and really all across the metro for folks taking their drive home between 5 and 6 yesterday. That was just one of dozens of crashes happening in the metro overnight. According to State Patrol, up until 9 last night, there were 577 crashes across Minnesota. In addition to that, 168 spinouts, 23 jackknife semis, and those don't even include the overnight crashes. So a dangerous night on the roads. It's a couple scary situations. This morning, Metro drives woke up to some frozen roads, icy conditions, as well as some wind, depending on where you were. We saw some isolated spinouts like this one. This is live right now in Pine Springs, just north of Oakdale on 694. We actually saw this school bus here around 8:30 this morning, and it's been there since. Some stalled vehicles, but very little to talk about in terms of delay causing crashes. So it looked, for the most part, Amy, like people were just taking it nice and smoothly on the roads. And plenty of snow plows and MnDOT crews out putting salt on the roads.
Yeah, it was hard to tell, but behind the tow truck was the school. There was, kind of see the school bus. It looked like it was completely the tow truck, but yeah, they're still trying to get it out of there.
Been there for a couple of hours.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, hopefully we have turned the corner and we all feel like we can take it from here.
If we want to take today and yesterday as like a practice day or whatever, that was it. And yeah, but it's time to be prepared. Make sure you've got your scraper in your car and your tires are good and you've got some sort of an emergency kit because we have entered that season.
Definitely. And I thought about this yesterday as I was scraping my car with a scraper that had like a broken piece on it, and I was like, well, an ice scraper, a really good ice scraper would be such a great stocking stuffer for little, because who invests in like a really nice one? You're gonna just kind of get a cheap one.
No, and you're right. When it's too cold out, that plastic breaks, and I feel like everyone's got kind of like 80% of a scraper in their car.
Right, and you can always use another one. So that was
great idea.
Just passing that along. All right, thanks, Lauren.
Yeah.